Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday. That's right, Monday. That can only mean one thing. That means it's time for Bob and Phineas, 3 p.m. Central Time. And let me introduce Mrs. Claus's favorite elf at the village, Phineas T. Elf.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much, Bob. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, little frazzled. It's been busy. We, of course, made that big trip to Gatlinburg and have gotten back. And, of course, anytime you take, and you know this very well, Phineas, anytime you take a day or two off, it takes you 3 times as long to get caught back up. Your work continues while you're away from the desk, and so it's been kind of crazy trying to get caught back up. We had a great trip though, enjoyed ourselves very much. You were asked about so much by everyone who watches the show, friends of the show, where you was at, why you wasn't there, and of course I had to explain to them that you have duties at the North Pole, not only do you help take care of many different aspects of the North Pole? You wear many hats. Of course, you're involved in the library. You're involved in answering the letters that the children send in. You and Mrs. Claus work very closely hand in hand with that. So, you had duties. Sometimes it happens, but I guarantee you were not went without notice that you weren't there. Everybody was asking about you.
Well, it's good to know that people are asking about me. But yeah, when Santa and Mrs. Claus are away from the North Pole, someone's got to be up here to take care of things. And as much as we'd like to leave it to the other elves and the gnomes and all the other magical creatures up here, sometimes you need someone just to that will take care of things. And Mrs. Claus said that it was my turn this year. So who knows? Maybe I'll be in Gatlinburg in 2027. You never know. You never know.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And being part of the Claus executive uh, decisions up there where you spend your yearly time at the North Pole at the village there. Part of the executive committee comes with duties, and sometimes it's your turn to head things up, and no
yep.
one does it better than you do, Phineas.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Greatly appreciated. And I know Mrs. Claus was happy when she got back up from Gatlinburg. So I think she could next time she'll rest easier knowing that if I'm up at the North Pole taking care of things, that things will be hopefully taken care of to her liking. So that's what's really important. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah.
definitely. And of course, those who have watched the Hollywood versions of Santa Claus will know and heard of Bernard before, and Bernard is a very important part of the ongoings of the North Pole also. But your role is right there side by side. I think you and he probably have two of the most important roles at the North Pole, especially on the Mrs. Claus side of things. You do help Santa a lot, but Mrs. Claus depends on you quite a bit, where Santa depends more on Bernard at times.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And Bernard is getting up there in age too. So yeah, he's needing someone to assist him. And when I came through, it was just really great happenstance that I was there to be able to step up for Mrs. Claus, and when necessary, when Bernard's overwhelmed, I help you out, Santa. So it's pretty good. So
Very true. Of course, we've got a great crowd with us today. As always, we appreciate the loyalty of all those who drop in on Mondays. Santa Doug, and I assume Jen is busy at her desk, but Santa Doug is with us today.
yep,
We
it
got
looks like
Paul Anderson. Who else we have there, Phineas? You see.
we've got Stu Radloff, who has managed to get home from work and tune in to us. So that's really great. We've got Kevin Scarf from Aurelia, Ontario, and he's been without electricity for 9 days because of the big ice storm they had up there.
Oh,
So
wow.
so I'm glad Kevin's got his devices charged and is able to watch along with us. So great to see you.
Hey, joining from you two, I might add.
Yep, yep. We've got Santa Bill Gorbett once again from Northern Ontario. So welcome, Santa Bill. And we've also got Mark from Alabama, and he says it's
Yeah,
chilly in
Santa
Alabama.
Mark is with us today. Good to see Mark.
Yep.
An alumni of Sat Bob's, and we always like to throw that in. And Mark was such a great student. He was quiet, but he learned a lot and has put that to good use.
Good,
It's
good.
like we got Parker Odell along with us. Oh, everyone's favorite Sean White is here today. Also, Gary Linder. I always like to holler at Gary. He's always fun to hang out with, and we got a chance to chat ever so slightly in Gatlinburg, but it's always good to see Gary and his beautiful bride.
Yep. And we've also got Diane Veen from St. Louis. So she was a North Pole Cornerstones alumni as well. So good to see you,
Yeah.
Diane. So good.
Oh, very good. We have for the last two seasons gone by the old saying that about the show about nothing with a whole lot of something.
Yep.
And that something is that big old something burger that we talk about, thanks to
Mhm.
Santa Randall. Randall Santa Checker Lee is the best way to put it. I always want to get that mixed up, but hey, he's got it the way he likes it, and that's the way we like it. So anyway, thanks to him for the big old burger that we run, and
Yep.
it's we got a great something burger with us today. Penny has come up with the question. He's been doing that since coming on this season, and
Mhm.
it's greatly appreciated by me and Angela to have someone who is actively involved in helping put these shows together. I want to say thank you, Penny, for that. How's the weather for where you're at?
Well, right now it is 46 and rainy where I'm at. So it's cool and rainy, but it sure beats snow and it beats freezing rain.
Absolutely. Yeah, we of course here it's 64 and sunny. We had frost warnings last night. It's that April cool spell that North Texas gets every year. It's always around Easter time when it hits, and it's usually the last really, really cold snap that we get. And from this point forward, it's all uphill, or if you want to call it the other way around, downhill because the temperatures are going to be rising and we're going to be complaining about the heat. But it's been nice here the last few days. Got a lot of rain, about 5 inches, not 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, and a lot of flooding down here. But hey, it's all sunshine today, and we love it.
good, good.
All right, you ready to jump into that big old something burger? And let's see what the folks have to say about this excellent question that Phineas has come up with today.
So for today's question is that everybody, I just noticed that Everett Prostrollo just checked in saying that he's finally back. He and his lovely wife are finally back from Gatlinburg. So this applies not just to Santa Family Reunion, but anytime you attend a major event for Christmas performance. Now that a major event is over and everyone is in the afterglow of learning and fellowship, what will you take with you moving forward in the coming year? And not just in the Christmas season, but how throughout the year will you apply the fellowship, goodwill, and education of the major events that you attended in your work as a Christmas performer and in everyday life? So once again, once you come home from an event, all the fellowship and the goodwill that you've built up, all the education that you've absorbed, how are you going to apply it for the rest of the year and in the coming Christmas season?
Speaking of fellowship, the one thing that really jumps out to me from Gatlinburg, listen, going back to Gatlinburg again and Santa Fe reunion is 680 clauses there, and it was so festive. And the goodwill that everyone showed and the fellowship, oh my gosh, everyone was in a great mood. Of course, it is the event that everybody wants to attend, and the workshops were excellent. The educational workshops were there. There was comedy, there was laughter, there was tears, there was a little bit of everything there. And if we could each one reflect back to last week and take a small portion of the love and consideration and respect that was passed around that whole week and do it 52 weeks a year,
Yep.
our community would be so much grander than it already is.
I always look at when I come to an event, and the number one thing that everybody comments on is that everybody is so positive and everybody is so friendly. And it's usually followed up with, why can't it be like that online?
That's what I'm saying.
And this is where I'm going to ask people is that, when you're responding to people online, remember that feeling of being all in it together as Christmas performers. And, politics aside, personal opinions aside, and everything like that, if someone asks you a question and that's coming from a genuine place, answer them, as you would like to have answered yourself. But
Right.
don't try to avoid negativity. And if you're going to respond negatively to someone, then don't respond. It's as easy. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. It's quite simple because people are learning. There's lots of new people. We are all in it together. We're all aligned in one purpose, which is to share the magic and spirit and love of Christmas and the spirit of giving. And if you can't do that online, then you know don't do it. Just behave as Santa would. What would Santa do?
Well,
So
yeah, exactly. And it is so well said, Phineas, and
mhm,
heartfelt from you there. The thing is, Mama Claus always said, don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
mhm,
You can think it all you want. Me and Randy's talked about this before. You can think it all you want in your mind, but don't ever let your tongue let it slip out. Just be kind, be respectful, show, as you said, others the way you want to be treat them the same way. There's no need for the negativity. We're not in competition with each other. We're not out there to bash each other. We're here to build each other up and to make this industry the industry that it has been for 200 years,
mhm.
leading into the last 15 or so. It's changed in so many ways when it comes to the negativity. The keyboard warriors have taken a hold, and just think twice before you type something or say something, and give positive feedback.
Yep.
Uh, it does no good to dwell on the negative. Now, if a guy is coming into the industry and he doesn't know where to wear his belt, or his britches are not, his coat's not aligned in the center with his bridge, what we call a gig line,
Mhm.
in a friendly way.
Yep.
Let him know that uh, those are things that he should pay attention to, not bash him for it. He may not know any better, and I think that's where we've gotten off track is guys just like to lash out without thinking.
Yep. And everybody's saying, well, it's that way because the internet is a very toxic place with so much hate and vitriol. So why aren't we, Christmas performers, counteracting that? Why aren't we working towards uplifting people and avoiding the toxicity, hatred, and vitriol? Because when you put on that red suit and you put on the belt and you've got the white beard, you're supposed to be uh, presenting a person who reflects universal love, universal acceptance, the spirit of giving, and also sharing the meaning of Christmas and where that comes from. So why is it different online? And that's all I'm going to say about this. And it looks like we've got some folks chiming in already.
And
So
I think that it's set by example is a great philosophy.
mhm,
But when it comes to keyboard warriors, if you're silent,
mhm.
you're setting an example to not put those negative comments out there. But I don't think folks are getting it. I don't think that they understand it. The reason you're not speaking out and the next guy is
Yep,
because you're trying to be positive. I don't know. As you said,
yep,
somewhere there's got to be a line drawn.
yep. So Parker Odell says, as a young Santa, all the contacts and people I met, every Santa starts somewhere, and the more mentors, the better. So that is wonderful, Parker. Thank you. And Betsy Madrisk Garner said that she did a tooth fairy appearance this morning and she used many of the techniques that she learned over the past weekend in Gatlinburg. So wonderful, wonderful to see that's happening.
Big, big, big positive right there.
Yep. Everett Castrollo says that he sits down with his notes and goes everything he remembers and sitting in the classes, talking to other people and instructors. And he also reflects upon what he saw in the vendors area as well. So excellent.
Yeah. Doug says Santa Doug says that he started making props day two of his return, he met a lot of more clauses from our area within an hour. He's speaking of Indiana, of course,
Hmm.
and included them in a small group that we are starting in Northwest Indiana. He had told me about this last week,
Excellent.
and every area needs a fellowship, a place of common ground where everybody can come together and work together, network, share jobs, those sorts of things. He says, I think the biggest thing is the charge that you get from taking the workshops and meeting other causes. You
Yep.
do get charged up. There's no doubt
Yep.
about it. It's an energy that you can carry with you for a long time.
Yes, indeed. It's like getting your battery recharged, and when you're surrounded by creative energy and creative people who are aligned with what you do, it's always great to see different perspectives. And maybe you might not do it the way they do it, but at the same time, you can see how you could adapt it, or how it could work for them, and maybe come at it from fresh perspective and fresh eyes. So,
I always like to say there's no wrong answer.
yeah.
Everybody has their way, and not one way is right over another way.
Mhm.
It depends on how you adapt that and how you use it that matters.
Yeah.
So
Welcome to
Betsy says
Deborah.
lead in kindness. So there's
Yep.
from Betsy.
Yep. Yep. She also says that we are all aligned in purpose, and that's the case. Is that we are all aligned in purpose. So, and we have had Sel and Delicato join us. Kane Smith has joined us. Charlie Johnson from Michigan has joined us. Deborah Kaiser has joined us as well. So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. David Milmine, Santa David, is here with us as well. So good to see you, David. Thank you.
All right, Terry Webb has joined us. Santa Bob, Robert Oyer has joined us also. Looks
Excellent.
like Sean's got a good one there. Phineas, go ahead and grab it.
Um, the Gatlinburg taught me how much my friends and I found joy every day during the trip, from classes, picnics, trips to the mountains, solos and duets and jammies at night. It didn't matter. We were happy and we could find our joy every day. Made our friendship, our bond, our support system strong enough to carry us through the future seasons. And I think that's true because if you're rooming with someone or if you're staying in a cabin with someone, you are you are living with them and you're learning about them, what makes them tick, not just as a performer, but as an everyday person. And that was the one thing that I quite enjoy about events like North Pole Cornerstones, because you're having dinner with these people, you're eating meals, you're with them throughout the day. So not only are you in the classroom, you're just enjoying the fellowship, you're talking to them, you're getting to know what makes them tick as human beings and as people. So it's a great opportunity to get to know each other as performers and get to know each other as human beings, and that's what creates the strong bonds and friendships.
Yeah, building those
And
relationships and friendships that's going to last a lifetime.
yes, indeed, yes, indeed. So excellent. Parker Odell noted that Tamale Claus passed away last week, and no, we did not hear about that. Thank you for
Hear
sharing,
that about
Parker.
that? Sure didn't.
Yep. So thank you.
Sorry to hear that.
Yep.
Do you know, it seems like we're constantly every week to 2 weeks we lose a prominent or someone that's been in the industry for a while, and I
Mhm.
guess it's a natural progression of age, and the important part is to carry that legacy forward. If you learn anything from a person, a fellow claus, or if they touched your heart in a special kind of way, don't let
Yep.
that die. Keep it with you. Not only keep the flames within you, but share it with others, as I have with Gordon Bailey and Tom Carmody and so many others that have passed. I mention and talk about them all the time, the good things that they taught me, and I think that's important.
Yep. And it's important to remember those who have supported us in the past and keep their names moving forward. And that's why I'm happy we have things like the Santa Claus Hall of Fame. And it's also important that we support and uplift the younger voices. So what Santa Doug's been doing in Indiana, and
Mhm.
what's happening in my neck of the woods every Friday morning when we have just a coffee gathering, where Santa's and Mrs. Claus's and an elf gets together for a cup of coffee. And we've had so many new members come join us who are just so pumped to put on the red suit and put on the dress as Mrs. Claus. And it's given us so many opportunities to share our experience, help get them started, and for us old timers to learn new ideas and fresh perspectives. So it's always
Yeah,
good
from
to
the new
join.
guys coming in, and at the same time, as I mentioned, keeping the legacy alive of those who left before us. I hear you speak often and positively about Larry all the time, your partner Larry, and it was so true. He had such a lasting impact on so many. And as the new guys come in, they need to hear these stories. They need to know about these folks that
Yep.
had an impact on the community. And kudos for keeping those those spirits alive in our hearts.
Sean White says the lounge area after classes at North Pole Cornerstones was one of the most fun parts, and it was. It was just fun to sit down and chat with people and enjoy fellowship together. Sal in Delicato agrees with that, and we had a couple of really good conversations with Sal and his wife, and it was always great to sit and enjoy a coffee or a drink with them. Sue Radloff notes that after one of the schools last year, several of the Mrs. Clauses from Michigan got together and make a small group of their own, and they meet once a month to exchange ideas and train each other, being mentored by an experienced Mrs. Claus. So excellent. Great job, Sue.
That was one up here from Parker. I don't think we touched on it. If we have, I'm sorry. Said he's been using Chat GPT a bit more because he wasn't able to come to the reunion due to health issues. But the handouts on the Google Drive worked well. And that's another thing is can't make these events don't mean that you can't be a part of it. For instance, that's why we started TNL road productions where we go out and try to cover these events. Because if you can't be there, at least you can see what the vendor room looked like, what vendors were there, what some of their products was, some of the folks that are doing the workshops. Now we didn't get back into the workshop area, and maybe that's something we need to do more of in the future. But we basically concentrate on just the vendor side of things. This time, of course, we had a vendor's booth, and there was so many folks, friends of the show, and a lot of new folks that come by said they hadn't heard about us that talked about tuning in and trying to catch a show or two. So again, if
Yep.
you can't make these events, the handouts are there. Same way with Cornerstones, we have handouts, booklets, and you can catch that material. And again, whatever coverage you can catch, TNL's there to try to cover it for you.
Yes, indeed. Parker Odell says that Santa Tamale was huge on Clausnet. I guess he wasn't a performer, but he lived Santa in his heart and was a constant support of Clausnet. So glad to hear that, and sorry to hear of his passing. So thank you.
And Santa Jamie Dozier says Gordon was amazing. Jamie attended 2 of our Sat Bob's classes that Gordon and I co-taught, and Gordon was amazing, Jamie. And it's been just over a year now, 2 years, excuse me, because the Gatlinburg is biannually. When Gordon passed, and we had you on the show that night, and that show was amazing in itself. We memorialized Gordon. We talked about Gordon's legacy, and Jamie, you, your wife, and sister are amazing in the same respect. And that was an excellent show. If you didn't get to watch it and you're interested in it, you can always catch it on YouTube and our Facebook group. Everything is categorized there for your viewing. Anytime you want to take a moment to go over and pull it up and watch it.
Yep.
Thank you, Jamie. All right, might mention Polar Opposites also with Santa Jamie and Santa J Mac and John McLeod. They're on Santa Mel's page, part of the TNL network platform also. And their shows air twice a month. If you hadn't had a chance to see Polar Opposite, get over and check it out. It's pretty interesting. It's different. It's some said it was going to be controversial. I don't see any controversy in it at all. It's taking topic and looking at negative, positive, both sides from two perspectives, which is Jamie's and JMac. So if you had
Yep.
a chance to check them out, get over and check them out.
Yep. The next one of Polar Opposites will be April 17th. So,
Very
and
good.
we'll touch
Thank
on
you.
that later on during the show. Well, do you think we should thank Santa's Closet now, Bob?
Well, now I had a little follow up
Okay.
to your question. I don't know if you
Okay.
saw it there or not, but
Yep.
let's throw this out here real quick. We won't spend a whole lot of time on it, but what was your favorite workshop as well as your favorite new product you discovered this time in Gatlinburg? Anybody find a new workshop that they like that they want to speak of, and or a new product that they might have bought, or if they couldn't afford it, at least saw and said that's got to be on my to have list? You can throw that into the comment box. We appreciate that. That kind of extends what we started with Phineas's question, a little more tailored to the weekend of Gatlinburg.
I will wade in first and say Thermapparel changed the world for me, particularly when I have to do summer visits from the North Pole into Canada, where it's typically in the 90s with 110% humidity. It's I am not built for warm weather, and as you can see, I wear a lot of flannel and a lot of long sleeve shirts. So Thermapparel, their cooling product is amazing, and I highly recommend them as a wonderful provider for folks who do work or maybe just have to wear the heavy suit inside when it's not so cool. So highly recommend them.
For me, I think the one thing that jumps at as far as vendors went at Gatlinburg was the fact that a first time vendor to the outside world, as far as that goes, everybody has heard of CA boots, Kaboots in El Paso. Many have used their clown shoes as Phineas's first, I think you said first pair.
My first and main pair are Kaboots. And
Kaboots.
yep. So
And
they're
they got
wonderful.
out and had a vendor's booth, actually a double wide booth. And it was great to see them out in the community showing off their wares, their boots and products. And just to get to meet the owner, he was phenomenal. I mean, he was one of them that just like you've known him forever. I mean, he's that type of guy. And so that was my biggest takeaway was the fact that after all these years, uh, they came to an event and is kind of putting herself out there for more to say. Of course, you know, with John Spears retiring, that has changed a lot of the boot side of things,
Yeah.
and so I think that's why he decided, well, maybe I need to get out and show folks that my product is equally as good. I can do the clown toe, I can do the character toe for the for the boots and things, and let folks know what his product is. And I was glad to see that. Another one that Sean mentions, she says she loves the name tags. A lot of them had name tags made. Now, Spangle's been using the name tag company for a number of years for Branson. We all have name tags that come from that gentleman, and they are cool name tags, I got to say. And you get anything you want to put on them, basically.
Yep,
And
that's Roy Stone at Jamstone Magic. He's based out of Ocala, Florida now. He used to be in Nashville, but definitely he creates wonderful name tags.
he
And
does.
you have a choice of a pin back or magnet back for him. But if you have a pacemaker, I highly recommend you avoid the magnet backs. Just saying. But he also makes other props for Santas. He can make signs and backdrops for you. So Roy is a pretty amazing product creator, and he's just an all-around nice guy. And he was once Maggie Zhang's cover Santa for her magazine. So
Yeah,
he's one of the more wonderful designer bearded Santas that we have. Phineas has worked with him on a couple of occasions, and he's just a pleasure and a joy to work with.
just
As
another fun all around guy for sure.
Yep.
Santa Chris Terry says, would love to have TNL at the Maps Jingle Joy Retreat and Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm, May 29th through the 31st. Michael Howell, Randall, uh, Herbie, they've all talked to us about that. They've made us a great offer to come up and Scott and I are having to look at what our finances are left for the year and see what we can do. But we are going to make it up there. It may not be this year, but we promise we're going to get up there soon. And but we're still trying to work on that. We have so much going on, and of course Gatlinburg coming this year, and the 2 years ago we just dropped in mid session, stayed a day and a half, and took off. Kind of pulled a Mitch Allen on everybody. This time we were there for a week, so it cost a whole lot more to travel over from our area to there and spend a week. But we felt like it was important to try to get the TNL brand out more with the new shows, and cover the event of the year. The event,
Mhm.
680 Santas in a humongous room full of vendors was a great experience for anyone who happened to go. If you didn't, there's always 2 years, as Phineas mentioned.
Yep. Ted Flynn just joined us. He's driving through Ohio where he can get signal. So welcome, Ted. Good to see you. Santa Doug said the Kringle brothers talking about technology and performances and props. And he also loved Joe Barney's presentation.
Yeah,
And
now we were lucky here at Lone Star Santas. Gosh, it's been, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago. They brought Joe in as our keynote speaker. I attended the conference convention, and he did 3 hours of his routines, talking about his history, growing up in the circus, his family. It was one that I will always remember. Joe Barney has one of the most fascinating stories as a performer and as a child being born and raised on the trains, the circus trains and things. Uh, Enjoyed it immensely. And I got to say, too, talking about the Kringle brothers, I shared this morning, I believe it was, over to the Tuesday Night Live show group page, their performance with the Christmas 12 Days of Christmas. If you haven't seen it, go over and watch it. You will laugh so hard.
it is a wonderful performance. It's a wonderful prop. Santa True makes those, the 12 Days of Christmas cards. So that is a Santa True prop. Just a wonderful prop for use if you've got a group and it's a playful group that wants to play along. Definitely. Phineas uses them. I use them for my adult crowds. But you need to have a group that is really playful and wants to play along, because it is definitely a participatory prop. So it's definitely very good. So glad to see them using it. Joe Barney is indeed a character. I've known Joe for nearly 30 years. And yeah, he is quite a character, and he has many a story to tell. So even just,
A lifetime full. And
yep,
then some.
yep. Parker Odell wants to know if Tuesday Night Live will be in Lancaster this year in Pennsylvania at the
That's
Santa.
another one that's on the list, Parker, that we want to try to make. We want to try to get out to all these major events, not only to build the TNO brand and to promote all the shows that are on the platform now, but to also cover these events, because after all, that's our goal, is to get out. And nobody was covering the Claus community. Nobody was going to these events. You'd hear about them. You would see pictures that was shared by those who took photos, but you didn't really get to see hand in hand live coverage. And that was the idea that came along 5, 6 years ago when we first started thinking about doing these shows. And so, yes, Lancaster is definitely on the wish list. Carl says Rex Ray's presentation on protecting your investment gave some great insight on wardrobe care. Yes, it is, Carl. It's a great one. Chrissy Kovic and Rex, our first Cornerstones, did a shared presentation on that. It's funny because in our committees, our planning committees, when we're putting together our curriculum in the beginning of the school, the first year, they each brought their material to the table so that we could look at it and decide what we wanted to use, what we didn't want to use. And they were almost carbon copies of each other. So if you can't catch Rex's, be sure and catch Chrissy Kovic's, costumemagic.com. But they're both excellent. Talk about, because Rex and Darlene was in the business also, about materials and furs and taking care of those materials and how to store them, and anything to do with your wardrobe care is important to all of us, because after all, that's our largest investment, other than educating ourselves with schools.
Carl also said that the business is Santa, led by Ann Donnelly and George Grasick, who are also CPAs, was also very useful as well. So,
Yes, anytime you can get into the business side of things, which was what Sat Bob's was based off of, the first book is pretty much solely business and the business of being Santa, and those are important aspects, especially if you're new and you don't know, if you've never owned a company before, never started a company before, never done bookkeeping, I never tried to promote yourself, websites. I mean, there's so much that goes into the business of Santa, and that was another great one, Carl. Thank you.
Santa Chris says that Santa America volunteers touched his heart, and Santa America is a wonderful organization. My husband and partner Larry ran Santa Canada until he passed away, and then I took it over for another 3 years. Unfortunately, we had to fold it as we had difficulty getting volunteers, but definitely the volunteers who do the work of Santa America, bravo, thank you. Joseph Cunningham said he loved this Kringle Brothers presentation and ideas, and he also really liked Stephen Gillam's three clay jars story. And Steve Gillam's stories are always exceptional. I understand he's going to be doing an online course up in the near future, and if you can jump on that and haven't taken it, I highly recommend you take his courses, because he puts on quite a presentation.
Him and Deb are again phenomenal. Lucky enough, they were keynote speakers at the Lone Star Santas the year after Joe Barney, and that's where I first got to meet Steve and Deb in person. Again, 3 hours of those two. Side was hurting, and I was sore for a week, but always excellent information. And by the way, he shared right after getting back home the clay jars and where those can be gotten.
Yep. Scott Saratian said he enjoyed Santa Family Reunion because of all the laughs and fun he had traveling with Bob. And yeah, you put the two of them together, and it's like nitro and glycerin. It's always
I'm telling you, again, I'm still sore from laughing so hard. We were up till 2 o'clock at night laughing, and our next door neighbor at our motel was able to hear us, and she commented that we need to get in bed earlier. It was just a hoot, no doubt.
Sal Indelicato said that he enjoyed Sean White's and Betsy Garner's classes, Mrs. Claus and Santa Character Solo and Season Success. It was an excellent class, and saying that it applied to both Santa's and Mrs. Claus's, and he felt the instruction was top notch. So, bravo, Sean and Betsy. I've heard lots of good things about how the class went. So,
oh yeah, and again, Sean and Betsy met at Cornerstone's first initial inaugural event, and have become best of best friends, and now teaching together, and will be seen on the TNL platform with Sean's show, along with Dr. Bruce and Phineas.
And Betsy too, on this coming Thursday. Parker Odell would like to hear any comments on Santa Duffy and Nina's class. So if you don't get to it here in the comments, please contact Parker offline as well. Santa Chris notes that he is going to be going to the Santa America Symposium in Kansas City in September. So good to hear that. And Charlie Johnson says he's got the 3 Pots PDF. If anybody wants it, please send him a deal.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Yeah, Parker makes the point that this is the first and say that for me again, Phineas. I can't get it come
out without John.
Symposium without John Shuey, as we all know, John passed away this last year.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to step out on a limb and try to do something. I have been practicing on this. Mod Rajewski, I believe is how Betsy pronounces his last name. It's a hard one, but I think I finally got it down. And if I'm wrong, I'm sure Sean or Betsy will let me know. But
Betsy will let you
anyway,
know for sure. Yep. Yep.
I've been working hard on that one. Okay, man. Hey, you know what? We're 40 minutes into the show. What a fantastic segment, as always. And, you mentioned here a while back, let's jump into santascloset.org. Well, let's just do that right now.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob and Phineas Live, the show about nothing. Season 4 of Bob and Phineas is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central, presented by TNL Network Productions. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob and Phineas in the TNL studios in today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
Okay.
All right.
So
Dr. Bruce says, even though I couldn't attend SFR, I live vivaciously through everyone's post. And I guess I did good on Betsy's name. She gave me a couple of hand claps,
yep.
so good there. Jenny Kringle says she loves Sean's and Betsy's workshop. Great things to come from them. And Betsy's telling Scott Seratin hi. Hello, Scotty. All right, go ahead, Phineas.
Okay, so we are continuing with the Easter trivia this time. And so everybody knows that at Thanksgiving, the president pardons a turkey, but at Easter, they have a large public event known as the Easter egg roll at the White House. So the question is, when was the first White House Easter egg roll held, and who was the sitting president at the time? So when was the first White House Easter egg roll held? And we are looking for the exact date and who was the sitting president at that time.
And we need full date there, month, day, and year, please. Month, day, and year on that one. Okay, that's a fun one. And I see a comment down here from Scott to me. He's telling me, don't be a Rachel. That is in no way connected to anyone in the Santa community. So don't take that wrong, but that is a Karen on steroids. Rachel, just a name that popped up out of the blue that became a saying all weekend and all week long in Gatlinburg. So don't be a Rachel. Start off, don't be a Scott, but then somehow he twisted it into Rachel. So take it for what it's worth. All right, fantastic. We did get a chance to talk to Larry Talbert at length about the insurance services. And Larry says to continue to roll the commercial as is. There's possibly a name change coming in the future that will be publicly announced. As many of you may have heard, Larry sold the majority of the insurance company. In his own words, they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So he's still there. He's just not controlling partner. And he says that he will be with TNL as long as TNL is a thing. So good to know. Let's go ahead and roll that video for us, please. I want to go ahead and run into the Elf and Chatterbox New ECN Santa Fe Reunion News. Congratulations goes out to our dear friend Elizabeth Rouge as the next director of the Santa Fe Reunion team. Sherry Heath has stepped down and handpicked Liz, who for the 2025 SFR was in charge of the website and marketing. Trish Paris will remain as co-director, a position she has held now for some time. The date has also been changed for the 2027 Santa Family Reunion. If you have not seen that, you need to know that it is changing. It's dropping back into the year. There was a scheduling conflict with the convention center, which we have found with Cornerstones can happen. Even though you let them know that's the date I want, that's the date I was at last year, that is where we want to stay for the future. We want to build off this same weekend every year. It don't always happen.
Yep.
So the confirmed new dates, write this on your calendar, jot it down. May 13th through the 16th, 2027. That will be a Thursday through a Sunday at the Gatlinburg Convention Center. Vendors move in and set up on Wednesday, May 12th. We know that's 2 years out. Start saving your money now. Registration rates will be out in early to mid 2026. So by the time 2026 rolls around, you've got your money ready. Jump in and get it, because I guarantee you it's going to be a sellout again. After this year's event, the numbers are capped. They can't take on any more. That's as many as can go. 680 was a phenomenal number. One of the largest events ever, and truly a reason why, and that's because it is premier.
Yep. Yes.
Okay,
Indeed.
Phineas, go ahead and grab the rest of those, if you will, please, sir.
Okay, Santa Ana Holiday University, a wonderful educational opportunity provided by Deanna Golden and Judith Broderick. They are going to be in Schaumburg, Illinois, which is close to Chicago, on May 1st through 3rd, 2025. So coming up soon, May 1st through 3rd in Schaumburg, Illinois. And they will also be in Medina, Ohio from May 14th through 16th, and that's close to Cleveland. And so go join Santa Ana Holiday University. That is a school which talks about the history and work of Mrs. Claus, as well as other holiday performers. So if you're looking to get a different perspective of Christmas performance, definitely go to Santa Ana Holiday University. Both Deanna and Judith are founding members of North Pole Cornerstones, and part of the curriculum has been adapted from Santa Ana Holiday University. And if you go to the Medina, Ohio, it coincides with a special Christmas Performers Day in Medina as well, because they've got Castle Noel, which is a wonderful museum and attraction in Medina, Ohio. Coming up in July of this year in Branson, Missouri, is School of Santas, run by one of our sponsors, Spangle the Clown. And that is July 17th through 20th. And our keynote instructor for that will be Lee Andrews, who is a wonderful longtime Santa. He's been performing as Santa since the age of 6. And considering that he's in his 30s right now, that's quite a decent amount of time. And Lee brings a wealth of information. And I also happen to know that Sean White will be also one of the other instructors there. So it's a wonderful time. Once again, a fellowship in education and in Branson, Missouri. And I know Spangles has got all sorts of surprises, entertainment opportunities, and I hear he makes a mighty fine cobbler as well. So,
boy, now you got me. And yeah, and of course, Lee Andrews is a traveling performer in comedy, clowning, and he's just flat a gut buster. I got to tell you, he's another one that will keep you in stitches. It was good to see Lee out at the Santa Family Reunion. Everyone was amazed to sit down and talk with him, because he's, like I say, always a gut buster.
And he's also taking over Pro Nose and Pro Face from Leon McBride. So if you use the Pro Face makeup kits or the eyebrow whitener, Lee will soon have those available for you. So I know they've changed the formula of the eyebrow whitener, and it will be a little better lasting. So looking forward to seeing how that works for everybody. So.
Great point, Phineas. Great point. Okay, previewing the TNL upcoming guests and shows. This year, we're kind of keeping on a tight leash of our upcoming guests, and there's a reason behind that, but we won't go into it here. But April 8th, that is tomorrow night, we will be dedicating the whole hour plus to looking back at the 2025 Santa Family Reunion, and our featured guest, along with a host of panelists from the TNL network. We will have myself, Spangle, Angela, Scott, Rob, Santa Mel, and our special guest will be Elizabeth Rouge, the new director for the Santa Fe Reunion. It's going to be great. We're going to look back at everything that transpired the week and looking forward to what there is to come in the near future. We also are going to talk about a lot of the folks that we spoke with about future being a future featured guest on a Tuesday Night Live show. Got some great ones. We intentionally went in this year knowing the size of the event with no guests lined up. This week they had no guests lined up because we knew we would do a recap show for Branson. I don't have next week's guest signed up yet, but I do have a giant list of folks that are willing to come on. So I just got to sit down after this first part of this week and put some pencil to paper, make some phone calls, and get some dates penciled in. But we intentionally, like I said, didn't sign folks leading up to the event because I knew that although we do have returning guests each year, we also like to have a mix of new folks that are getting in the industry, folks that many people may not know about, as the Australian Santa that was there that we will have on a show in July for Christmas in July. But we'll go over all those tomorrow night. So tune in tomorrow night on Tuesday Night Live Show, TNL Network and Productions, and catch who all we got lined up. No pencil to paper yet, but they've all agreed. So verbal agreement's good with me. Okay, are we ready to dig a little deeper here? Or are you going to do your segment today, correct?
Definitely.
Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and run the promo, digging deeper with Phineas.
Hello there. So I'm building on the current series we have of creating a character, just to show the character development process that you can go through as yourself, as a Santa or Mrs. Claus, or as an elf, or as the mean green guy, or whatever type of Christmas performer you have. And we are using this fun individual, my friend the Yeti, and we are creating their character. They are quite excited to find out who they are and learn about who they're going to be and what their role is going to be. So I've been engaging over the past few weeks with the viewers of Monday Live with Bob and Phineas, just sharing the ideas that I've been going through and what process I go through when I create a character, and then hoping to get some ideas from the audience. I know I've gotten some engagement from folks like Charlie from Michigan and Paul from Beamsville, Ontario, and Bob's come up with a couple of good ideas as well. So Yeti's really excited because they're really interested in finding out who they are. So in the past, we've talked about how Yeti got up to the North Pole, and also what the Yeti is doing at the North Pole. And we've also begun taking a look at traditional folklore with Yetis, because they are a long and important part of a lot of the mountainous regions of India and Asia. And so this week, I did some research about Yetis in popular culture, and how Yetis work in popular culture. So and Charlie, you had asked, have we named the Yeti yet? Well, I'm going to get there. We're getting closer to naming the Yeti, and what their name is going to be. But first, let's talk about Yetis in popular culture. So in my research, Yetis have existed in popular culture dating back probably since as far as explorers explored the Himalayan mountains and India and parts of Asia. But where we first heard about Yetis in popular North American culture, and I will use that, was in a 1957 movie called The Abominable Snowman. So humans embarked on an expedition to hunt the Yeti. The Yeti is caught, but it dies, trapping the humans in an avalanche. And and then the humans got to witness the Yeti society as it existed, noting that the Yetis were actually an intelligent species just biding their time for humanity to destroy themselves so they could claim the earth for themselves. Yeah, kind of bleak, but that was the 1950s science fiction. The next major mention of Yetis in popular culture was Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. In The Abominable Snow Rabbit, they tunneled through the Himalayan mountains because they got lost heading to Palm Springs, where they met the Yeti, who named Hugo, and the Yeti found Bugs Bunny and wanted to love him and hug him and call him George. Eventually, they made it to Palm Springs, where Hugo melted away. I know that's sad, isn't it? I know. You're not going to melt away, are you? No. The next major one, of course, is the one that we mostly have to avoid because it's still protected under copyright, and that's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And that would be, of course, the Bumble. We all know the story of the Bumble, how he was trapped Rudolph and Yukon Cornelius and everything. But we pretty much, if we're going to use the Yeti in any type of recorded media, we've got to be careful with that because of copyright issues. There was a book in 1987, which was pretty popular and won a couple awards. It's a children's book called King of the Cloud Forest, and it talks about a young boy who lived in Japanese occupied China in World War II, and he was sent to England to live with his uncle, and he got caught in a snowstorm. Where he was rescued by a family of Yeti who took care of him until his uncle was able to rescue him. Recently, there was the Mummy movie, the third Mummy movie, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, where a trio of Yetis help the heroes fight the undead armies of the Dragon Emperor. Yeah, you guys are pretty brave, aren't you? And then there was a series of cartoons, Smallfoot, Abominable, and it was basically a series of cartoons about Yetis. Smallfoot was about a young Yeti who was trained to wake up the sun every morning. He fell when he was ringing the gong, and he met a human who was known as a Smallfoot. And it showed that the big feet don't believe in the small feet, and the small feet don't believe in a Bigfoot. And it talks about the clash of the two groups of beings. So lots of research being done on Yetis. The most recent is Abominable, which was a short cartoon about a young girl who found a lost Yeti on the roof of her apartment building. Once again, got blown down to the apartment. You guys get caught in the wind a lot, don't you? You need to be more careful during storms, I think. And then she attempted to help return the Yeti to his family on the highest point on Earth. So why did I do this? I do this so I can understand what Yetis perform in culture. And so I'm able to create some sort of background so the character can connect with people of all ages, with audiences of all ages. So a lot of the younger audience would know the movie Abominable and Smallfoot. Pretty much everybody who follows Christmas regularly would know Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Bumble. So we're looking at that. Lots of horror movies featuring Yetis and abominable snowmen, and we don't go there because most of those, the Yetis are pretty mean and they do a lot of killing, and I don't think you're going to kill anybody, are you? So no. The other thing that I look at is every Yeti had a character and they had a name. So I then looked at what were the names being used. So we have Bumble, aka the Abominable Snowman. In the Abominable Snow Rabbit, his name was Hugo, and Hugo wanted to love him and hug him and call him George. We had Mr. Link in one of the English claymation movies, The Missing Link. We had Migo Michi, and Everest. Everest was the name of the abominable snowman in Abominable in 2019, and Migo and Michi were both in Smallfoot. So this gives us an idea of the types of names that snow people had back in the situation. Carl, you're correct. Harry and the Hendersons. Well, he's Yeti or a Bigfoot. So whether or not they are related, the Big Feets of North America and the Yetis of the Himalaya regions. So there's lots of opportunities. And Harry, well, I mean, Harry was so named because he's Harry, and definitely our friend definitely here is Harry too. So we're getting closer. We've got an idea. Most of the research that I showed shows that for the most part, Yetis are simple. They're instinctive. But they're also very noble creatures because they believe in family. They believe in protecting the weak. So it's kind of an interesting idea. Even the Bumble, which started off as a fearsome character, became very helpful after he had his teeth pulled because his teeth were bad, and he was helping put the star on top of the tree at the end. After he was made the humble Bumble. So we're looking at fearsome, misunderstood creatures. We're looking at creatures that are somewhat simple, but at the same time, very compassionate. They take care of others. They take care of people who are weaker than each other. And they've also got a strong sense of community because it always talks about families of Yeti and Yeti communities dealing with each other. So that begins to show what kind of character we've got with the Yeti. We've got a character who comes from a group that's got a strong sense of family, a strong sense of supporting the community and being a community. So that would give Yeti a good reason for staying at the North Pole, is because he came from a strong sense of community. And if we can't get him back to his community, he'll fit in at the North Pole because he will definitely want to help out and support us here at the North Pole. So there we go. This sounds like a lot, but it gives you an idea of what the character's motivations would be. And so we've got so far a character that was blown up from a storm to the North Pole. We've got a character who makes a whistling, swooshing sound. So we're likely going to lisp when we talk. So when we talk, we're going to talk with a lisp, and that will be highlighted by the fang, that we have only got one fang. So, all I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth. Could be a possible song that we could do for Yeti. But at the same time, we've now got a character that we know comes from a cultural background that believes in family, supporting the community, and supporting others who are weaker than them. So Yeti's going to take care of all of the babies and all of the smaller elves and the tiny weak characters. So you'll see where we're going with them. And to answer Charlie, you can see that we're getting closer to finding out the Yeti's name. We don't even know if the Yetis are boy or girl or neither yet. So we'll soon find out. But we're getting there. But that's how come research can be helpful. And Kevin Scarf, yes, I missed Monsters Inc. I will add that to the research pile, and that will be addressed later on. But thank you very much for everybody. And again, if you've got ideas, please message me on Facebook or email me at mike.hutchings@gmail.com, and we will continue to build the Yeti's character. You can see that the Yeti is already beginning to get a personality, definitely very inquisitive and wanting to help out, and definitely very showing the strength of their character. Like, we're not going to be fierce. We're going to take care of others, and we're not going to put up with any negative Yeti talk. So we're all good. And yes, Sean, we can always call the Tooth Fairy in to care for teeth problems. We had the Tooth Fairy come visit the baby Yeti that Phineas is also taking care of because she was teething. Her little baby fangs are coming in. So thank you very much to the Tooth Fairy for coming to help out. So excellent. Thank you, and have a good day, everybody.
Oh man, I love this. I love this a lot. Fantastic stuff there, Phineas. I'm gonna catch a quick comment here from Ken Kringle. Good to see Ken in Gatlinburg, and he had his wacky rabbit with him, and I got to tell you that rabbit is really wacky.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he had had too many Red Caribou drinks that day, to be honest with you, but he was all over the place. So it was good to see him and his wacky rabbit at the event in Gatlinburg.
Yep. Yep. And I saw someone also had a singing Christmas tree there too. So
Yes, they did.
yep.
Let's see. Bill Gorbett said Gorbett wants to know, does he speak any indigenous languages?
Right now he's just grunting. The Yeti's just grunting. They're finding their voice. And indigenous language, that's going to be kind of hard because they are from the Himalayas. So I don't know if if it speaks Yeti or if it speaks Hindu or some of the other languages up in the Himalayas. So we can't tell yet. And
Another comment from Ken says he no longer is allowed to fly in the sleigh because he's always asking if we're there yet. Yeti.
Yep.
Santa Cruz says bugs should have made a left at Albuquerque.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, they got lost and ended up in the mountains. So
Great tie-in to what we're talking about there. Ken says Boggs Bunny. Yeah. So I guess that's a reference to. Hey, that rabbit was wacky. I got to tell you, man.
Yep.
He was a hoot. Bruce, Dr. Bruce. Let's just put that away. Everybody's kind of become to know him as Dr. Bruce because those of you also know him as Bruce Guerin or JG Kotowich. Information, a great example of building a character. Thank you, Phineas. So true, Bruce. So true. All right, man. I tell you what, that was fantastic. I love that segment. I love where it's going. I love the way that you're taking the idea that you and I had discussed about character development and turned it into what it is. Kudos, brother. Kudos.
Thank you. And as I said, I want people to chime in. I want people to pass on their 2 cents. You know, if they're feeling empowered to do some research or come up with an idea, let me know. Message me because I'm taking on any and all ideas. I've got a sheet. I've got a booklet that's forming about all the stuff, all the information and ideas that we've been getting. So and they're being considered. So let's make this the Monday Live crew, the Tuesday Night Live Yeti. So,
and that's the coolest part about it because it is a community project. And hey, where they say 2 heads are better than 1, well, it goes for a whole platform full of heads to be able to put their 2 cents worth in. Okay, do we have a winner?
We do.
Oh, fantastic. We got a winner today. That's always good news. Okay, so Phineas, go ahead and let's throw that trivia question and answer out there, if you will.
So the question was, when was the first White House Easter egg roll held, and who was the sitting president at that time? And the exact date was April 22nd, 1878, and it was President Rutherford B. Hayes. President Hayes.
And winner?
Parker Odell.
Parker Odell gets that one. All right, fantastic. Parker, what we need from you, brother, because I don't know if I have a current address on you or not, please send myself in a private message your full mailing address and your T-shirt or your shirt size. Doesn't mean you're going to get a shirt because Santa Wade over at santascloset.org asked us to do that. Periodically, he is going to surprise selected guests with a little extra bonus. And so he won't know what shirt size was. Please give us that also. Okay, April 22nd is a good day. It's a birthday here in our household, our granddaughter's birthday. Celebrated my son's 50th, mine and Carol's son's 50th, just a couple of nights ago. And our baby girl over here in the corner, she's got one coming up here in a few days also. So lots of April birthdays in the McMaster's household.
And I noticed tomorrow is Dr. Bruce's birthday.
Tomorrow's Dr. Bruce's. My father's is the 9th in 2 days. He's deceased, of course. And then also sharing a birthday with my daughter is my youngest nephew. So lots of April's birthdays in our household.
Phineas has one coming up too.
Uh-oh.
Well, Mike has one. Mike has a birthday coming up
I
too.
guess one, yeah.
Sorry.
Everybody knows when Phineas was born, I think. It's been around a while, Phineas says.
Thank you, Trish. Thanks for the info on Yetis. She knows very little about them, but she's coming up with names and character ideas. I look forward to hearing from them, Trish. So excellent. So
Deborah's was yesterday.
Deborah's was yesterday. Lots of April. You know, that's
Carl had one a few days ago.
well, happy birthday to everyone. Hey, while we're at it, happy 4th of July, happy Easter,
Happy New Year.
happy New Year. So, you know, they're all happy for Christmas, and Christmas is merry.
Yep.
All right.
Parker wants to know if he sends it to you on TNL or Facebook.
Send it to me on my Facebook, if you will, Parker. Just send it to me in a private message. That way your address is not out there floating around, and that keeps it kind of private. So
AJ said it was good seeing you.
well, you know what? AJ was fun. AJ's always fun. And Connie, him and Connie came to the SFR and hung out on Saturday, opening day. And I think AJ was blown away the fact that 680 folks there and all the vendors, and because AJ's hasn't been to anything that big before. So that was his first experience off into the full blown world of everything claws. And it was good seeing you, AJ. It was good seeing Kane Smith too. We got to throw Kane's name out there. Kane was there, and it was great meeting him. Him and his wife had been there. They don't live too far away, so they make periodic trips down to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge area. And it was good to see Kane and his wife. Okay, yeah, happy birthday to everybody, friends. Santa Chris says. Okay, let's go ahead and throw this out there. This is just the lineup for this week, April 8th, tomorrow night. Looking back at SFR Gatlinburg 25. That will be with special guest Elizabeth Rouge and our TNL folks that are coming on with us tomorrow night to talk about it. Following that, we got the Kringle time with the Kringle brothers. Can't miss them. On the 10th, we have Santa's Magical Fellowship Group. I sat in last week. I don't always get to sit in on Mel's fellowships, but it was a great time last week. If you haven't joined in on one of her fellowships, go over there and do it. You'll have a good time, I promise. Also following for the very first opening, the debut of the Claus Connect for this year, Empowering the North Pole with Shawn White, and she's going to have some guests on that she'll be hosting. It's going to be a fantastic time. You do not want to miss the season premiere of the Claus Connect with Shawn White. And then on the 17th, on following Santa Mel's, we will have Polar Opposites again. It's all on the TNL Network Productions. So tune in, Capri Hills, joining the fun for 2025, all powered by the TNL Network Productions. All right, Phineas, you know what? It's been a great show. We're running a little bit longer today than we have been by about 10 minutes. That's okay. It was all good.
We had lots of good conversation, lots of good comments coming. So it's been very
yes. Well, you know, that's what makes this show is the interaction. You watch. Uh-oh. Did we crash? Are we still there? No, we're still there. Okay, my screen started buffering, scared me there for a minute. Yeah, that's what makes a lot of YouTube shows, internet shows, is you all hear them say comment, like, and subscribe. But the comments really are a way for everyone to be involved, and that's what makes this show. Is the fact that you guys tune in, week out, and it's a great time to have everyone along with us. Yeah, we're the ones that's on the screen, but you guys are most important because your comments is what makes the show. Your interaction. The Something Burger, fantastic job today. Hello, Jeff McMillan. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for the kudos. Again, Jeff, we missed you. I was looking forward to giving you that kiss on the forehead, but I'll catch you next time with 2. That's right, I said 2.
Jeff just finished Kringle University online, and he's going to have Kringle University live in Appleton, Wisconsin in August of this year. So there's another learning opportunity. Jeff's Kringle U is wonderful. I do believe he was the keynote speaker at School of Santa's last year, was it? Yep.
Mhm. Sure was. Had a great time.
Yep.
Might mention that Lauren Jensen was at Santa Family Reunion. That's another joke that came out of that weekend.
Yep. He
Thanks
was
to
also at
Scott.
North Cornerstones too. So.
And at Cornerstones. And he drove up, spent some time with Jeff and Deb McMullen, and they're best of friends. And it was good to see those two together, or the three of them together again, as always. Okay, I think it's time to let's go ahead and tell everyone it's been a great show. We appreciate you coming, and we want to see you tomorrow night for a great follow-up show, revisiting the week that it was and the weekend, of course, in Gatlinburg. So if you didn't go, join in. If you did go, come on, because we're going to expect you to put your 2 cents worth in the comments, as always. Phineas, thank you so much, man.
Thank you very much,
It's
Bob.
always a pleasure, and you're so insightful and a crowd pleaser. So thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much, Angela, for your technical expertise as always and your assistance. It's great to have someone who knows what they're doing behind the scenes. So thank you, Angela. So
Absolutely. Always got to say kudos to the baby girl over here. All right. Thanks, everyone. Good to see you. Come back next Monday and join us again. Catch us tomorrow night. Catch all the shows on the TNL network platform. We got a great lineup, and everyone works hard to bring you the content and to cover the Claus community with fellowship, sharing, and just pouring our hearts and souls out to you. Bye, everyone.
bye. Have a good night.